Yeah, should be recording. Just want to make a video on something relatively recent, which is Mark Zuckerberg announcing the removal of fact checkers because they're going for some, uh, I think they called it a community-driven approach. It's just community notes from Twitter, right? But I want to talk about fact checking more generally and why fact checking as a standalone thing, if you're doing it for yourself, is a good thing, and how organized attempts at fact checking just corrupt the concept. Sorry about that. Okay. The problem, well, first of all, the like fact checkers have gotten a bad rep because use they're hiding behind fact checking being a necessary thing and fact checking being a good thing in order to justify essentially acting out of line if you treat fact checking as a standalone, pure thing. You should always check uh, anything that you're told, because if you're told something, then whatever is telling you that thing is a degree of separation from the truth, right? I don't know if there's different kinds of truths. There's definitely different types of lies, right? You can be lied by simply being told stuff that doesn't exist. You can be lied to by giving you a selection of truths and a selection of lies, right? Someone who knows something, right, can pick accountability. They respond to themselves, which at the end of the day, they respond to a bottom line. They respond to a profit, essentially, to a business model, etc., etc. If you go down this rabbit hole of thought processes of what is the truth, if you're being lied to by omission, the different types of lies that you're being told to, or that you're being told by these so-called fact checkers, the there's something that everyone knows, right? I'm going to use European units for this, which is water boiling, the temperature at which water boils, right? Since you're a kid, you're told water boils at 100 degrees C. This, if you assume the person that tells you this knows everything about it, this is a lie, strictly speaking, because water boils at 100 degrees C under atmospheric pressure, right? That's properly the full sentence, right? Which seems almost irrelevant, right? Like, who cares? Like, yeah, maybe if you're an engineer, you start caring about the details. But this is modern politics, right? Like, if you extrapolate it to modern politics, it's like, well, these details do matter, right? And if you assume that the fact checkers have all this power to pick and choose, and they can tell you these shorthand truths, which essentially are lies because they're not giving you all the details, then a function that is fundamentally good, this introspection of like, how do you know something is true, becomes another vehicle to spread lies. The fact checkers instead become lie spreaders, funnily enough. And who gave them this position of power? No one. They just said, well, we're going to make an organization that checks the facts, and that's it, right? Like every organization, they'll have their nice principles that they play under, but this is essentially a set of lies because no organization can survive off of just ideas. They have to survive off of either they're parasitic, they require other profitable organizations in order to survive, or they make money themselves, right? The bottom line is always money when it comes to an organization doing something, right? If they don't have the money to do it, then they won't do it, regardless of how well written, how uh, sympathetic they might make their list of principles, the rules that they play under. But yeah, and if you're wondering why community-driven approaches are better, is because when everyone has the same power, everyone kind of competes for this power, and the thing that you can compete, or the thing that you can appeal to the most, is to the truth, and you can only be certain of things that you sense, right? In the form of the five senses, right? Like sight, smell, touch, um, hearing, and I missed one. Which one did I miss? Taste? I think I missed taste. Okay. If if you can see something, you can believe in it. If you can hear something, you believe, right? You trust that the thing you heard exists, right? So the sound itself, not necessarily what made that sound, but that's a completely different point. The point is that there's no degree of separation between that event and you knowing it. Now, if you want to spread that, if you want to say, hey, I heard something, hey, I saw something, right? Now there's more degrees of separation between the truth and you telling someone else about the thing that you experience. When it comes to an entire community, when it comes to people who all hold the same power, playing this telephone game between the truth and people accepting it, the most intrinsic thing they can play for, because there's no power play, right? Like it's not like, well, you either believe in what I say or I kill you, nudge, nudge, wink, wink, the entirety of history. But it's a game of who can who can transmit the truth more directly, who's closest to the truth. Because you can say something that's true, like uh, water boiling, in many different ways, right? But the way that it's going to be spread is the one that takes the least effort, right? The path of least resistance. So community-driven approach, I like. Companies doing fact checking for people, I dislike. I think this should be relegated to individuals, right? And at the end of the day, you will only check the facts that affect your daily life or, your bottom line in some way, right? Like your employment and stuff like that. So if it were up to me, just fact checking companies would disappear. It would all be a community driven thing and people would just talk. They would just talk to each other. And if something does surface as a lie, usually that's a bad enough brand, right? Like that is bad enough branding that it just dies off on its own. But if it gets legitimized by being organized, then it just hurts everyone. So yeah, just remove fact checkers from organizations, give the users more power, and it will take time, maybe an extremely long amount of time, but the truth will surface and it will remain there forever. Because the moment that the truth is spread by being forced on people, it's inevitably going to be questioned and the questioning will become more normalized. So you might say something that is completely truthful, but you might be forcing it on people, and suddenly the lie gains legitimacy because, well, why would you need to spread the truth so forcefully if it's the truth? If it's self-evident, then why do you have to force it on people, right? And this is what happens with stuff like equal treatment, right? Equal treatment gets forced to a degree that it stops becoming equal treatment if you think about it as a principle, and then people want to regress to very interesting treatment of each other, and you see this in every country. It's not just a Western thing. But yeah.